Hey guys, Matt here, and I just saw the movie Coco, the latest animated feature from Pixar Animation Studios, and it was excellent. I mean, let's face it, 2017 has been a pretty lackluster year for animated films, which means I probably need to see more foreign animated films. Nevertheless, 2017 can come to an end with at least one great animated film. The story of Coco follows a young boy named Miguel who has a very strong love, a very strong passion for music, but unfortunately lives with a family who pretty much banned music altogether because long ago his great-great-grandfather left his wife and daughter in order to go play music for the world. So now his entire family has pretty much banned any music and anyone from even listening to any music. Miguel idolizes a famous musician named Ernesto de la Cruz, and he finds out that turns out he is in fact his great-great-grandfather. And he wants to follow in his footsteps to become a great musician. But his family tries to stop him, and he becomes so upset that he leaves and he breaks into his grandfather's mausoleum where he takes his guitar and he plays a tune, and that's when he gets transported in to become a ghost. And he meets his family there, and they take him over to the land of the dead. And while there, they try to find a way to bring him back. And while he's there, along with his family, he meets another dead guy named Hector, and they help him to try to bring him home, while at the same time helping him to discover who he truly is and where he really belongs. The film takes place during Dia de Muertos, the Day of the Dead, and it's an important aspect of the film. And while in most other films I could see where they include something about the Day of the Dead, they might just include it in the film, maybe give a little bit of an expositional dialogue to explain what it's about. What I love about this film is that while it's developing the characters and the story, it also takes the time to develop an explanation about what the Day of the Dead is about. Through character interactions and character dialogue, it explains what it entails, what the different traditions are, and why it's so important to so many people that participate in it. And I think, for example, one of the aspects we see it in the trailers, it seems to be a big part of it, and it is the Mexican marigold flowers. We see the rose petals, and we see them included, and it's like, I'm asking myself what they're about. And while in the film, it's just this little interaction with this woman and her two kids, and she's explaining that, we need to make a path so that the dead can find their way to the altar that they've made for them. I'd say the first maybe 1/3 of the film is set up before they even get to the part where Miguel crosses over to the other side. And I really love it when movies take the time to organically flesh out the important aspects of the film. I think they did a really good job with that. And then when they finally get to the land of the dead, it's gorgeous, it's colorful, it's vibrant, it's massive, it's creative, and it's populated by these mythical animal creatures that act as spirit guides for the dead. There are a lot of characters in the movie, so it does get kind of hard to tell who's who a lot of the time, but most of the important characters, I think, stand out pretty well. You have Miguel, the main character, little boy who has a really strong passion for music, and it's really interesting to see the path he's taking. You have Ernesto de la Cruz, who is, as they say in the movie, his reputation in the film is that he's the greatest musician of all time. He kind of has that, his reputation precedes him. His great-great-grandmother, Imelda, who he meets in the land of the dead, kind of still has the same mindset that she did when she was alive and passed down onto her family. So there's a bit of a rift between Miguel and Imelda. But for me, I think the standout character is Hector, the stranger he meets while in the land of the dead, who agrees to help him get to his great-great-grandfather. And, because I always felt like during the movie, like there was more going on with this character than we were letting on. And I did feel really attached to this character. The title Coco comes from it, or the namesake for it comes from Miguel's great-great-grandfather's daughter, or to put it more plainly, his great-grandmother, Coco. And it's kind of hard to explain why she's so important without going into spoilers, so I won't really say much more about that. The music was pretty good. They had some good guitar work, and the singing was actually really good. The animation was spectacular, as you know, to be expected. Every movie that comes out, it seems, whether it's Disney Animation Studios or Pixar Animation Studios, they always seem to keep trying to one-up each other. I would say that some of the scenes and some of the dialogue in the film seem to get a little bit cliched. They didn't seem absolutely necessary. Like, it didn't really seem like it was needed to really tell this story the way they were telling it. Also, a lot of the humor didn't work. I think part of it had to do with it seemed like it was intended for a younger audience. And the part of it, I think, may have had something to do with the fact that I've got a sinus infection right now. Or maybe it had to do with the fact that I was so distracted with a bunch of moviegoers who don't know how to shut up. Nevertheless, this was a solid film, a terrific addition to the Pixar library. Overall, I'd say 9 out of 10. A great film. I look forward to watching it again. But more than anything, right now, I'm just so excited for next year because we finally get a sequel to The Incredibles. That's all I got. I'm Matthew Harder, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.